Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Welcome to a quick update, bit of a live. Haven't gone live for a little while, and thought what I'd do is just drop a bit of value for you guys. So anyone that is a coach, high-ticket affiliate marketer, aspiring high-ticket affiliate marketer, or anyone in between for that matter, if you are interested in developing your own offers, and I'll explain a little bit more about that, and leveraging simple copy frameworks in order to get people to see your offers, then this video is for you. If you happen to watch this, if you could just drop a hashtag live if you are on the live, and of course hashtag replay if you are playing catch up, or alternatively just drop a 1 in the comments. Just helps push it out to the algorithm a little bit further. So going live across a couple of places, my free Facebook group, LinkedIn, giving that a shot, and my YouTube channel as well. So let me know where you're tuning in from. That would be amazing. All right, so a couple of things. I was asked a question in Messenger just before I went live, or just then, and so I thought I'd just answer a couple of questions related to that, and then I'll kick off with the rest of the stuff. So there's a few links in the description there. Feel free to check those out. There's a couple of free guides regarding offer creation stuff, a little bit about copywriting stuff, and if you're interested in scaling your business and you'd like to get my help to do so, then feel free to hit the link in there. There's a free case study. And of course, anyone that is outside of my free Facebook group and you'd like to join, there is also a link there as well. So feel free to hit on that. Hit on it. You're not really hitting on it. Clicking on it. You can click. There you go. Good one. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a great weekend. So first and foremost, the questions that were asked to me recently, someone's trying to connect a landing page, says how to connect a landing page to Facebook. Maybe that's already covered. So you don't really connect your landing page to Facebook as such. What you can do if you have a landing page, you can, on your profile, for example, what you can do is click the edit button somewhere around the left-hand side, and it will allow you to change the bio, add links, all that type of stuff. So that's one way that you can connect. You can't really have it as part of Facebook, unless I've sort of misunderstood the question there itself. Other question that was raised was basically how to drive traffic to your group to begin with. So how do you get those seed members in order to start growing your Facebook group? Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to cover before I get to that point, because the rest of them, just to give you some context there, maybe it was attract people, not drive them. So try a slight change of words. And then also just in relation to the actual question. So for anyone that is not on Facebook, if you don't have a Facebook group, you're actually able to ask 3 questions when people join your community. And the reason why that is really powerful is because it allows you to extract data on what people are interested in, meaning that you don't really need to guess in terms of your content game, because basically people are already telling you what they would like to learn. And the other thing is that these are inherently what people's pain points are, which of course, if you are sending DMs, if you are acquiring clients through organic methods, through leveraging content, things like that, it really helps if you already know what the pain points are. Now that means that the offer that you create is going to be very, very specific to the people that are joining your community. Now, what happens over time is once you start to get a few people in there, you start to realize that there's a fairly common theme to the stuff. And it's usually not overly dissimilar. It's like, I can't get high ticket buyer leads. I don't know how to get traffic. I'm not really that great at closing. Really need to work on my content game. Those are kind of the main ones, usually speaking, and of course, lead generation as well. But normally people just go, okay, well, I'm having a lead generation problem. And I'm like, well, okay, where are you getting leads from? I don't know, just I'm putting stuff out there on social media. So there's no systemized process, right? Anyway, that out of the way, what I will say is that the questions that I use for my Facebook group have been refined over many years, and they are pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So what they are, for whoever's chiming in, is what's the number one thing you'd like to learn or uncover or discover from this community? Now, the reason why this is really powerful is because basically when people enter your community and you ask them, like, as many marketers do, what are you struggling with? And they, you know what they say? What? That's presumptuous. I'm not struggling with anything. How dare you? And they get upset, right? And so if you ask the same thing, but you put a positive tense on the end of it, what would you like to learn? What people like learning stuff, right? That's the whole point of being as part of the community, to share information, to be part of something bigger than themselves, to be part of a tribe, so to speak. And so therefore, if you're asking, cool, well, why are you here? What do you want to learn? Then people are like, oh, well, I would love to learn about high ticket buy leads. Great. Welcome on board. Now, what does that mean? It means that there's a high likelihood that that is a deficiency within their current business. Okay. And so that means when you're producing content, it's going to solve that riddle for them. So you're actually providing a deeper sense of value. Now, what happens to myself is I often get messages and it's like you're reading my mind. It's like, and I'll get comments like that on my content. It's like you just, I don't know, you just know, like you read my mind or something like that. And that is not by accident. Not because I'm super crafty either, by the way. It's because, like I say, people tend to give me these answers. Over time, like I say, you'll find that there is a theme to it. So you can keep coming back and amending that, and it just improves your messaging and your offer and all that type of stuff as well. So hopefully that helps in terms of the questions, things like that. The last one, in terms of how to drive traffic to your group to begin with. Really simple. You go and find people that you're already connected with. And if you have any form of relationship with them that are interested in the same stuff as you, and they are an ally, I guess, they're interested in affiliate marketing, or they're interested in coaching, or they're interested in health, or they're interested in whatever your specialty is going to be, that's your seed members. You just get a couple of those folks in there. And all you need to do is just ask the question. Quite literally, I've got a very, very simple script, and all it says is pretty much like, hey, I'd love to have someone with your experience in my community. It's all about XYZ. It's a great place to connect with others, and I really just want to build a really amazing tribe of people. Can I send you the link? Real simple. Or would you be opposed to joining? That's another one that works really well. Now, of course, it is laborious, right? Because you're having to message people. I get that. But to send a couple of messages to make a few grand in high ticket sales, pretty worth it, I would have thought, right? Especially if at some point you can outsource, which is the process I'm currently going through at the moment. I'm outsourcing that aspect of it. So, meaning that you can use the same frameworks and just get it done. I've actually had a VA working for me for the last year or so who's gone out and found hundreds and hundreds of people to join my community by doing that exact same thing, right? So all outsourced, kind of passive, which is really cool. So that's it. That's quite literally how you do it. Now, what I would also say before we move on from this particular part is you don't need a huge community. You don't need a large audience to make substantial income online. You really don't. And the proof is in the pudding, because obviously, like I said, I managed to do some kind of cool stuff, or not necessarily by myself, I must admit, but the point I make with that is that if you look at my YouTube content, the majority of it isn't overly polished. It's not like super fancy editing, because I kind of don't give a shit. I have got some stuff that I will edit from time to time, but that's not the purpose. I use it as a mechanism to deepen the relationship that I have with people, right? So I'm using it in a different format. Now, for example, I've got a student who had 43 members in his community, 43. And he had banked over $3,900 worth of deals with 43 people, right? I've seen other people do other things. I've got one student and she surpassed $8,000 with 73 people in a group, and 10K with over just under 100 people in a group, right? So you don't need a huge audience. When I first hit my first $10,000 a month way back in late 2019, back before I had a little less gray in the old beard at that time, a little less stress in my life, perhaps, maybe more stress, actually, come to think of it. And I had, I think, 300 or 400 people in there. Now, my group, I felt like it was quite a big group at the time. Had no idea how to monetize at the point, which was really interesting. And then once I basically deployed what I'm saying here, went from zero to my first $1,000 day in just 7 days. And then I had my second one the next day, and then my first $10,000 a month. And that quickly blew up to as much as $51,000 months so far, which is pretty cool. And all that is just a continual refinement of that process, right? I haven't deviated too far from that. So anyway, that's it. Hope that helps. If you also get stuck, it also depends how you're leveraging your group. And what I mean by that is you could have, for example, a pop-up group. And so the pop-up group is designed to have a start and an exit, right? A time in which the group is available and there's some sort of delivery of value within that group. In which case, for me, in a perfect world, it would be great if everyone came through and answered all the questions, things like that. But if you're in a rush and you're wanting it specifically for that purpose, you can just hit the invite button. What that's going to do is you're going to be able to load up your group really quickly with people. Clearly, you're not going to have that same data, but if you know that these folks are interested in the same stuff as you, they have a need, and in copywriting, we say it's a bleeding neck problem, as in it needs to be solved yesterday, and you're able to fill it with these people who are highly motivated. They are folks that you've connected with that are interested in the same stuff. Real simple. Some of them will buy some stuff if you've got a good offer, right? And so therefore, and having the finite end point of that actual group as well would help with that. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure if you're going to end up watching it live, but hopefully that helps there. Elizabeth, how you doing? Good morning. Groups 100% work. Yep, 100% they still work. Let me just bring that up so you guys can see it. Do groups still work if you're starting from the beginning? Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I don't really believe in. I don't believe they can be saturated, put it that way. And I say that because if you go through your feed, and especially for those of you that have been doing this stuff for a little while, and you have a look at some of the people that you used to connect with back in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and you'll see that they disappear. They're just not even there anymore. And so therefore, there's like an attrition rate that happens because people just don't want to stick to things for very long. They want the instant gratification. And if they had just stuck with it, then they'll probably be able to create a big, huge group, right? And there's always different interests. There's always like a different voice. There's a different way that you can present as far as a group goes. So yeah, absolutely. Love to say it's almost 2 a.m. Yeah. This will be up. Just come and find it. Cool. Okay. So a couple of things I'm going to go through. Number one is in relation to offer creation. So now I've actually got a masterclass. Sorry, I did a 3-day virtual event. Now, if anyone is interested, put a hashtag event in the comments. I will reach out. There is a replay available. It was pretty epic stuff. And I basically, for 3 days, I covered offer creation in very, very specific detail and depth. Whole bunch of additional resources, whole bunch of stuff that you can use to basically create an offer that pretty much sells itself, and that can range from anywhere from $1,000 right through to sort of $15,000 to $20,000 in range, which is cool. So if you're interested, hashtag offer below. But enough of that. Now, if you're an affiliate marketer, so one of the common questions I get is, yeah, but I've already got an offer. Like, isn't the offer just the thing that I'm promoting? Don't I just send my link to someone and that's the actual offer itself? Which is logical, and I get that. But consider it this way: if there's 1,000 affiliates out there, and they're all of us as affiliate marketers are promoting the same things, right? They're promoting whatever, right? What you've got to consider is in that sea, how do I turn myself into a different looking fish so that people are attracted to that and are more likely to buy? Now, one part, of course, is personality based. They might just like you a lot more. You might just have a deeper connection with someone, but that's not something you can usually rely on because it takes time to build up an audience. It takes time to build those relationships with people and build that trust factor of being present in your audience, things like that. What we can all do in a very simple way is create a better offer. And what that does is it actually elevates the perception of value of the thing that you're promoting. So, for example, like I say, you got 1,000 people, and out of that 1,000, you're like, everyone's offering the same stuff. Like, I could just click on any link and it would still work. And then all of a sudden you see this other fish over there, and they're all purple and shiny and nice looking. I don't know why they could be purple and shiny and nice. Who knows, right? But anyway, they are offering something a little bit different. They have some support. So therefore, you're not just going to be buying something left on your own. You've got some support along the way. Okay, that's pretty cool. So bang, all of a sudden, the elevation of perception of value has elevated, right? All of a sudden, it's worth more. And that one affiliate now sticks out a little bit. Now imagine if that same affiliate was able to go and add a couple of bonuses that are very, very, very congruent with the underlying offer, the underlying deliverable program, course, whatever it is, right? Now, all of a sudden, bang, two things. Elevation of value has gone up, right? Heaps, perceived value. Next one is if we can unpack or unravel or highlight what's actually in what we're promoting. Now, all of a sudden, we've got this trifecta, perfect storm, if you will, which is kind of cool. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you can also add a de-risking element, right? So if you can imagine that there's a whole bunch of ways to measure risk, it's not just financial. There's like loss of face, there's hassle, there's threat, like all these risks that we assess as we go through life, right? So when we're making a purchasing decision, if you can move the onus, the burden of risk from the consumer to yourself as the affiliate or the vendor, then now you're tipping the scales, right? Now you're reducing that. Now you do have to be careful with this stuff. Can get burnt in the butt. You need to be able to be confident in what you can deliver as well. But a couple of things you can do really quickly is you can offer guarantees. One of the ones I've got, I call it drop a rock on my foot guarantee. Drop a rock on your foot guarantee. What that means is someone has the option to go try my stuff. It's for a $5 program. If you're ever interested, it's an affiliate marketing beginner's course over 6 days, about an hour a day. It's pretty cool. Loaded with value. It's probably worth a good couple $100, but I made it $5 for accessibility. But on that guarantee, it says you have 30 days to check this thing out. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Just send us an email. But I'm so convinced that you're going to absolutely love it. You would rather drop a rock on your foot than lose access to this program, right? So now all of a sudden, like say, the risk factor has moved from the consumer to me. I take on that risk, right? I remove that. It's kind of cool. Anyway, on with that. So in order for us to understand that, the very first thing we need to understand is something from Alex Formosi. Highly recommend you go check him out. Dude knows his stuff. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stuff at the moment. Built up many businesses, blah, 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 blah. But he's got a book. It's called $100 Million Offers. He's got another one coming out called $100 Million Leads as well, which is going to be really cool. But one of the things he does is, let me just see if I can blow that up a little bit. He has this diagram thing here. So in order for us to create a better offer, we need to understand this first. This is what prefaces it, right? So when the dream outcome times by the perceived likelihood of achievement is elevated, when it's higher, and the time in which it takes to get the results, so the time delay, times by the effort and sacrifice to get those results, that dream outcome, when that's minimized, now value goes up, right? This is how you've got price elasticity. Kind of cool stuff. Like this is a real fundamental thing for you to learn, regardless of your affiliate, course creator, coach, blah, 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 anything, whatever, right? Kind of creates as I say there, creates a value vortex. It's like the alliteration of that one. And so if you combine that with one other element, which is just purely basic economics, supply and demand, now you've got like virtual, like a perfect storm, and you can sell some stuff real easy. Kind of cool, right? So that's it. Let's have a look at this stuff. A couple of things really quickly. Now, I've gone over this stuff in detail on lives before, but I'm presenting to YouTube, which is a new one, and obviously LinkedIn. So I'm sure there's a few folks there. Plus, I haven't done it in my free Facebook group for a little while as well. So anyway, when you are able to unpack the benefits, you reveal the core value of the product, right? It doesn't matter what you're promoting. It can be, I mean, obviously as a high ticket affiliate / coach, a lot of my stuff is ranging from $1,000 right up to 12K for some of my coaching things. And ideally, if I was to say to someone, cool, it's got 18 modules. Each one is about an hour and a half long. It's going to take you around about 90 days to cover all that, working just an hour a day. You can also get these check sheets things that you have to do. And each one of those, you're going to have to fill in detail about 4 pages each. And this other thing over here, and then this other video, and then you've got to go to this thing, right? So that might be the features. Now, that might be a benefit. It might be that the features themselves are a benefit. But ideally, what you're aiming to do is highlight the benefits of those, right? So it could be things, for example, instead of saying, hey, I've got like 55 modules in this thing and it's never ending and you're going to have to go through it for months on end, which is something that all of a sudden you've now raised the time delay, you've actually gone the other way, right? So therefore, value equation, the dream outcome starts looking less dreamy at that point, right? If it takes ages, because humans, we're inherently lazy creatures. We want the ease in which we can obtain things, right? If you think about it, where's the dream holiday for most people? It's like tropical islands, basking in the sun, mojitos at sunset, whatever your jam is, right? That's kind of where most people are. That's how we sort of program, right? So therefore, if you start putting things in a way that are like really hard, then people's brains start to melt and they're like, oh, I'm not interested in that. And it's not that you're BSing about it. You're just like putting out there what is the key benefits of it. Now, for affiliates, you're like, oh, I don't own the product. Exactly. What you can do is you can go onto the cart page. And usually on a cart page, you'll find that the product vendor, usually if they have actively sold stuff before, they're probably decent in most cases at writing. And so therefore, they've probably done the legwork for you by highlighting what the benefits are on the cart page, right? Real simple hack for you. Just take that. That's a core message, right? Now, you haven't created anything at this point. All you've done is just shown that there is something of high value there in the form of benefits. Think about offering some support as well. Like humans, we love buying stuff. We just don't like being sold to. And as part of our buying behavior, we like to feel like we're appreciated. We like to feel like there is support where we can just reach out. We can get some help. We can send an email. We can do whatever. So a couple of ways that you can do this. You can have private chat access if you've got an individual client, right? Be mindful that there's going to be boundaries and certain things in place, right? But you can have that. You can have a private Facebook group, like a pop-up group that only you share the best of your best stuff in. You know, Voxer. Voxer is like a free app. The upgrade is like $5 a month, I think it is. And you can just send voice notes back and forth to folks. You can do the same thing in the Slack channel, right? You can actually send voice clips. You can answer messages in real time, things like that. You send video clips, things like that. You might have, for example, hypothetically 6 one-on-one calls, depending on the size of the offer that you have. Might be 8, might be 12, might be 6 months, might be a year. But again, think about time delay stuff. Do people want to be on a coaching sessions, plural, for a year, or do they want results like now? Me personally, I'm quite impatient at times, so I have it the other way around. What you can do is somewhat of a hybrid, right? So you say, for example, 90 days of fortnightly coaching calls, one-on-one 60-minute coaching calls, or 30 minutes each week, whatever it is, right? You can also have in-person meetings. I've held a couple of events and had some folks here in Melbourne rock up, which is really cool. They're always good. It's just an added layer of support for people. And yeah, get creative with this stuff. Now, you don't have to have all of these, of course. And what I would do is always consider what sits at the top of your mountain. What's the highest amount of dollar figure you can possibly get as part of something you're promoting, whether it's a coaching or a course or an affiliate offer. And what you'll find, that's peak of your mountain there. And so if you start to consider that, okay, we'll have 6 months of coaching and we'll catch up every fortnight for an hour. And I'm going to have Voxer access so they can get a hold of me in the meantime. And I might have a Slack channel as part of a group or a Facebook group, whatever it is. Cool. Okay, done. And now imagine that you're only promoting something that you get paid $5 for, like my basic affiliate marketing monetizer programs, $5. And people might go, well, I don't really want to be on a Zoom call for 90 minutes or an hour times by however many over the course of 6 months or 3 months and whatever it is, right? So therefore, because there's a disproportionate amount of value given at points, so you go, okay, well, now that if that's the biggest amount of cash I can get and the most amount of value I can give where I'm at in my journey, what can I remove from that in order to then equate to something that is more reasonable for some of my smaller offers? So always start at the top, just like rip a few things off and bang, then you've got something that's going to look pretty good, right? Incentives, so bonuses, obviously. But again, if we think about the equation, where is it? Up there. Think about how that ties into that. So things like checklists, real easy to go through. You can check something off. The perceived likelihood of achievement of a checklist It's very high, right? I'm pretty sure most of us know, okay, is it? Yep, okay, tip, brilliant, I can do that. So the time decay or delay to achieving that is very small, it's very minimal effort. So therefore, minimal effort, easy to deploy, all that type of stuff is where bonuses work really well. Now, you don't have to go crazy. I would basically, here's a little mistake that I made early on in my journey is that I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to put in everything. So I would like literally throw in the farm and it was like 40 to 70 different bonuses. And this one does that and that one does that, and blah, blah, blah. And you get that, I don't know, digital thing over there. And then you get this NFT thing over there and you get this blah, blah, blah. And it was confusing. And it also, as a brand, it lowers your trust value because then people are like, well, hang on a minute, why do you need to add so much stuff? Like it must be a piece of crap. Right? So think about that type of stuff. But anything that minimizes the burden of process is going to be a high value asset to give away, okay, as an incentive. And going back to my comment before, how can you minimize risk? Guarantees, refunds, money back, pay on results, work with you until you achieve X, Y, Z. So I don't really take much in the way of one-on-one students at the moment, but having said that, I've got one on my one-on-one stuff. It's basically I will work with you until you've doubled your investment, and I also have a half payment later when a certain amount is achieved. So at the moment, it's 20 grand, but give me less than that upfront, so it's just shy of 10K, and then when you hit 200K of rev, then we can talk about it. Right, so I'm not going to chase these folks around like it's more of a pricing strategy than anything anyway. It was pretty cool, but put it that way, if I can help someone go from like wherever they are to an additional 200 Gs, most people probably wouldn't mind forking out a little bit of extra for the help that they've got along the way, okay? So the same thing can apply to affiliate products. Now, of course, one of the issues is you do not control the cart page as an affiliate, right? That's not up to you. But what you can do is if you've got some giant cojones is you can offer to pay out of your own pocket. One of the most profitable launches that I did was for a $300 workshop, how to get paid in advance to build out your own digital assets, basically, and then I'll send those folks to high ticket back end offers, right? Really, really cool. Very proud of it. Anyways, I pre-sold it, as you do. And as part of that, I was like, okay, I'm fairly confident for the right audience that they could at least quadruple their investment, at least bare minimum off the back of this. And so I was like, okay, well, what's that times 4, $1,200. So I basically said, look, I will pay you the difference. If you go and deploy the stuff, you got a year to figure it out, 365-day warranty. And if you go and you do everything that's in this training and it still doesn't produce 4x return, I will pay the difference. Which is crazy. Means that, guess what? I'm carrying all that risk at that point. And I got 0 refunds, 0 unhappy customers, and no one even mentioned that at all, right? Because it was such a powerful thing. And the conversion rates were insane, like 20-something% when it went on launch. Admittedly, it was no volume. I was doing it with warm traffic as well, so that's another factor. But anyway, now the other thing is, as an affiliate, we've got this kind of cool thing, which is called margin. So, for example, my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind program, right? I show Popal and People, both of those as well. I show folks how to build a brand. I show them how to build a Facebook group and how to monetize a Facebook group, right? And it covers everything. It's called the Ultimate Marketing Mastermind. Now, having said that, starts at $1,000. Dirt cheap, underselling it, but it is worth $1,000. Selling for $1,000 at the moment. So as an affiliate, my affiliates get paid 50%. So it's $500 US of cash flow. Now, of course, if you're starting out, you might need to do a couple of extra things in order to elevate your own sense of value that you can provide, right? If there's a crowded marketplace, you got to get creative with how to stick out above that crowd. And one way could be, for example, to send a physical gift to someone. Bottle of whiskey, bottle of wine, books, right? These types of things are really powerful. Audible subscriptions work really well. Kindle subscriptions, Kindle books, things like that. I've seen people send webcams before. Now, of course, with my core program, that's where we catch up on Zoom every week in a small group community, as well as the training. That, at the time of recording, is $3,500. Still undervalued. But But as an affiliate, that's $1,750. And so therefore, you got margin, you got things to play with. Like, cool, okay, well, even if I spend $250 out of that to buy some extra stuff for, one or two people to get started with, then I've still made $1,500 for a sale. It's pretty good, right? Do a couple of those in a month and you're starting to get a decent income. Hopefully this is making sense. Right, any questions at this stage at all? Cool. Right, another one. In order for us to attract who we want to attract, both as coaches, affiliates, course creators, things like that, we need to at least have an understanding of copywriting. We don't need to be masters at it. And a lot of this stuff is, I'm not going to say it's going to be redundant, but it's easier to become someone who can write decent copy with the likes of ChatGPT these days. I personally don't really use it for that. I probably could, but I just like the creative side of creating content and writing and stuff like that, right? So I really enjoy it. Again, we'll cover the value equation stuff there. Thanks, Alex. And a couple of the key drivers that I wanted to discuss. So mystery. If we all think that we know something, we're probably not that intrigued by it, right? But if there is something that is fascinating and something mysterious that we don't quite understand, then we are more inclined to pay attention to it. Something that's intriguing. So this is why things like acronyms work really well. So if I said Jamie's Facebook formula, it's like, it's me for starters, and it's to do with Facebook and it's a formula, okay. But if I said JFM, for example, it's like, what is that? My JFM formula helps me bank 2 to 3 high-ticket sales per week in under 2 hours per day of work. Drop a comment if you'd like to learn more, right? So there's a sense of intrigue behind that. Like, what's the JFM? What is that? Anything that's brand new, we love it. Again, because it's that search for knowledge, search for newness and like uniqueness. If you think about, for example, in the online game, email marketing has been around for eons, right? Like a very, very long time. And if I was to create a course and it was just like email marketing, it's kind of boring. Like most people are like, I don't really need that because it's been around forever. But if I found some sort of like thing that I do that's unique with my email marketing, then now we're talking about something different. So there's a sense of newness to it. So it could be the lost code formula for sending emails that take 5 minutes to write and bank thousands of dollars in under 3 minutes a day, something like that, right? Now there's a sense of both intrigue and it's new. Limited risk, and again, coming back to that idea, is that we as humans need to ideally not feel like we're taking on too much risk. And so as a vendor or an affiliate, if we can start to remove that or lessen it to a greater degree, then it's beneficial. Needs to have believability. Can the person see themselves getting the results? Like, it's like the weight loss analogy. Like, cool, I can help you lose 10 kilos in like 6 weeks or something like that. Like, wow, that's a big result. Okay, cool. What do I have to do? Oh, just a marathon a day. Like, whoa, hang on a minute. That's not super believable for most people. But if it's more like, cool, here's a pill, you just take that. You don't need to change your diet at all. Just take the pill. It's completely safe, completely healthy. Everyone's tested it, yada, yada, yada. Pop that baby down, you'll lose 10 pounds or 10 kilos, whatever. Oh, okay, that's cool. Right, so believability, because therefore people will believe, oh, yeah, I can take a pill every day. Awesome. Anything that removes the idea of having to do hard work, basically. There's another couple of things you can do, and I won't go too far into it at this point, but like you can do labeling. So there's two forms of this. One is what they call negative strip lining. It's a bit of an interesting term. And the other one is a damaging admission. So negative strip lining would be where, for example, if I was to say to you guys, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should never work with Jamie Gardner. 10 really, really good reasons why you should never, ever consider joining my Ultimate Marketing Mastermind program. Number one, you may end up getting some life-changing financial results. Number two, it's freaking hard. None of this shit is easy. No one tells you that. Everyone is like trying to make it sound like affiliate marketing is real easy, blah, blah, blah. none of it's easy, right? You're going to have to test yourself mentally, and you have to be very consistent with the stuff for an extended period of time in order to make it work. You have to overcome your money battles and what your relationship is with money. You probably won't want to do that because a lot of people don't want to go down that pathway. It's not comfortable to step outside your comfort zone because you have to build a personal brand, right? If I kept going like this, then you'd be like, what? Why is he doing that? It's crazy. Because everything's on the table. Like there's nothing else at that point. And so therefore the way that the brain would work is, okay, well that's ticks off all those objections off now, and they've all been addressed. And so I know exactly what I'm getting into. And so all that's left is the positive. So damaging admission, by contrast, it's more of a trust building aspect. It's where, if you see these big bold claims like, I can help you scale to 100K in 38 seconds with no extra work. Like, what? Now, then a damaging admission would be, but I don't know you or your work ethic. And this only works for this type of business model. And it only works if you blah, 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 right? And so therefore it's like saying, hey, big, huge, bold promise, but might not be for you though. Just saying is all. And so because of that, it's a way to build the trust factor back up as well. Results other people are getting purely through testimonials, things like that. Social proof helps massive. Right, so I'm going to cover a couple of power words. So I would come over here and make a copy of this stuff because it's going to come in handy, and I would just study this stuff. Now, I'm going to point out something that I did earlier on in the call, which was basically I used a very specific word, and it's something that is it's a no-no when it comes to copywriting. And that word was learn. As part of the group entry questions, I say, what would you like to learn from this community? Now, I could change that to discover, uncover, unveil, things like that, which all have elements of like excitement and adventure behind them, as opposed to learn. It's like, oh, I'm stuck in a classroom and I'm like a kid again. I hated school, right? But anyway, apart from that, do as I say, not as I do. Right, so greed words, these are self-motivating, self-fulfilling, greatest, guilt-free. A lot of it is hyperbole as well. And you don't have to use all of this stuff. It's really just a way to kind of see what is out there. But hopefully when you go through this type of stuff and you can see a few things, how these tie together. So if you're able to create a sense of intrigue to get someone to read the rest of the post, and it tells a little story and there's a call to action at the bottom, and you're making it easy for that person to not feel exposed by doing it publicly. Maybe you say, look, DM me the word info and I'll send a Google Doc over with all the details on what I'm up to this month, right? And so therefore people will be like, oh, that's pretty cool. All that type of stuff. So I'm not going to go through these, let you guys go and read through them at your own discretion. But even just like literally, if you were to read this for 10, 15 minutes, do that like once a week for a month, you're all of a sudden unlock something a little bit different in your mind when it comes to copywriting. You can also just have this up in a tab if you're writing something and you're like, I kind of need a word there. Sure, you can Google it, whatever. Or you just come here and have a look, ridiculous, restricted, unusual, wacky, without, zany, sloth words, anything that's hard work, basically, is seen as a negative. And basically, as it says, they ideally want their emotional brain activated at this point. So anything that is, like I say, designed to sound hard, so learning is a hard word. Anything else that involves, work, basically, we deviate from, because then we start to build up limitations. Oh, how long is it going to take? It's going to be expensive. What do I have to do? Blah, blah, blah. Whereas, go through this stuff and it works the other way around. Lust words. So they, a lot of this is, just the desire of something, which, there's many: obsession, passionate, pleasurable, promiscuous, provocative, riveting, scandalous. If something's scandalous, it invokes a pretty strong emotion in a lot of people. Oh, it's scandalous. How scandalous is it to write copy that sells? My goodness. Vanity words. Like people in general, I mean, we are all living our life through our own lens. We're all living our experience of life through our own experience and our own ways of doing things, right? So therefore, it is a sense of material self-interest we are often attracted to. Head of the game. You'll be ahead of the game after watching this very live, purely from understanding some of these concepts. You'll be ahead of the game and ahead of everyone else. And as another thing that we often, as humans, like to do, we're competitive, right? So therefore, if we're ahead of the game, I feel pretty proud at that point. Elegant, elite, quick-witted, remarkable, enchant, epic, sassy. Trust words. So there needs to be a ton of trust with a marketer, and that can come from a number of different things, and this comes back to risk as well. But trust is multifaceted. So trust is like trusting me as a person. It's trusting me as a brand. Trust that the product is going to deliver the desired results, the desired outcome. That's another one. Trust, more importantly, coming back to the value equation, that the person can go and achieve those results. They need to trust themselves more than anything, right? That over and above everything is really, really powerful. So these are some words to use as far as that goes. So highly recommend Blair Warren's one sentence persuasion, which basically states people do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears. Sorry, there's one other thing. Confirm. There's a couple of misses. And help them throw rocks at their enemies. And so that there is the crux of all copywriting, basically. Like, people will literally do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. So yeah, that's pretty powerful. Go and like dive into this one in particular, and then these will start to make a lot more sense then you go through that. Fair words. We obviously don't want bad stuff to happen, and so if you can imply something around that, it's very, very powerful. And again, I mean, there's too many to go through, so just go through on your own accord. Yeah. Got a free case study there if anyone's interested. That's it. A little bit of value for y'alls. PsyOps. What a great word. What a way to make a living. Right. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to go watch Top Gun. No, not Top Gun. What do you call it? Mission Impossible. There we go. I knew it was a Tom Cruise movie. Yeah, I'm going to go see that tonight, which is kind of cool. Anyway, anything else on that? Any questions? Anything you guys need help with? Thank you. Can't wait. Awesome. Right. Well, I'm going to head off. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate you all. If you would like some help with your business and you're an affiliate marketer or a coach and you'd like to simplify your client acquisition process, feel free to hit me up. Go to ultimatemarketingmastermind.com. There's a free case study there. Have a look through, see the results I've been able to get for my clients, and work out whether that's something that you'd like some information on as well. You can feel free to book in a time to chat with myself. I don't have I don't outsource my sales at the moment. So yeah, that's cool. Plus, I'm really chilled out. It's just a chat, right? Don't be afraid if I'm not going to use some ninja mind tricks. Maybe I am. Who knows? Anyway, if that's you, that sounds like you, and you would like some help, you're tired of the confusion, you want some clarity around the stuff, and you want to scale to 10 to 30K per month, here we go. All right, guys, you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much. See you next time.